Okay, so back take from different guards, the similarity, so the principle of it or the concept. We'll start with full guard and she stands. So always have your control while she stands. And for De La Hiva, so I'm gonna let go of one of the wrists and hold the ankle. Usually the ankle that they step up first, or you can always go with your favorite side, I guess, too. But if you don't grab the first ankle, sometimes they're harder to reach. So now I haven't opened my guard yet. I do that when I'm ready. I'm gonna open the guard, put my feet to the hips, just push her away just a little bit. Mainly this far leg, because this near leg I wanna wrap around. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sit on the foot. So I scoot over, sitting on the foot. I do that so my foot can reach in further. If you turn this way, you can see that my foot is on her hip, the top of my foot, but I could also wrap it on the same leg. Okay? You can do either way. I prefer that far leg, and you'll see why later. Okay? For now, what we'll do is we'll let go of this grip. Maybe she stripped it, or maybe I just switch grips, and I hold the other wrist. Okay? So what that allows me to do is straighten this left leg here, and it makes her step backwards. Okay? If I'm still holding that far arm, I'm fighting myself, and she won't be able to step back. Right? Sometimes they'll step back on their own because they're going for backstepping type of pass, or reverse half guard, or some other positions for leg locks. As soon as I get her to step back where she does that, I want this foot to put a butterfly hook behind her knee. Okay? And that is so she can't sit down. If she sits down now, it's going to make an easy back take. Okay? So that's threatening the back take already. She's got to worry about that. Now, the next part doesn't have to be in any particular order, as long as I'm keeping 3 to 4 points of contact at all times. Right now I have both hooks, I have the ankle, and I have the wrist is 4. Okay? So if I let go of the ankle, let's say, and I shift my hip, I can grab the other far ankle, right? So went from 3 to 4 points. Or I can reach up to the hip. That works too. If I want to let go of the wrist and hold both hips, that's fine. But I can do this with holding the wrist as well. I'm going to kick my butterfly hooks up and outward with the intention of kicking her knees up into the air. And the hand on the hip, that's so she doesn't go farther away from me. I don't want to pull her on top of me. She'll land on my chest. I want her actually in my lap. So I kick out, just keeping my hand on the hip, and then the feet flow right in. Hands go straight to seatbelt, and then I can start working chokes. Just keep that. So go here. Chokes go this way.
You want to go back in guard?
Yep. I have the guard closed. I got my points of reference, my wrist control. She stepped up. I'm gonna grab that first one. Okay. That way she doesn't start breaking my guard right away. She has to stay close to me. Now, feet to the hips, create the space that I need. Okay. I like to switch my hand around, sit on the foot. Okay. That's so this leg here can fit farther in. My other foot is on the knee or the ankle. For now, let's just do the knee. And now switching hands to the other wrist. I need that point of contact. Straighten my leg. When I see the back of her knee, my foot goes in there. Butterfly hook, right? So now I want to get more square to her. So I'm going to, right now the hand on my ankle is the one, on her ankle is the one that's blocking me. So I'm going to let that go, shrimp behind her, and catch the other ankle. I do that so they don't take off, right? So they don't start running off. Then when I'm ready, I grab the hip, out, feet go in, feet go.
Now, obviously here we don't have a belt because we're working with no gi.
Right. So you can grab the hip. You grab the hip, the pelvic bone. Yep.
You grab the belt. So on him, because he has a belt, I'll just grab
You can grab the belt, or you can grab the gi, or you can grab the pants.
So this is coming like a guard.
You want to grab the opposite sleeve, correct?
When you have the guard closed, you have the same side sleeves.
Seems like
When he stands up, grab the ankle.
Yeah, I got his ankle. I got his basic left ankle. and
Then you
left-
sit on the foot, you lace your leg through. There's a sweep before the back take. That's why we're still holding that sleeve. Then if he strips it, or you know you want to take the back, go ahead and switch sleeves. So now you have your right arm on his right sleeve.
But he's too far away here.
I gotta move it back.
You should still be holding his foot, and you should still have your leg laced through onto the far hip.
If you can move it.
Can you see it there?
Yeah, I can't see where your foot is at that angle though.
Adjust the screen.
No, it's pretty easy for those.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. Right. So I have his right ankle and left. You see it?
Yep, that's where you start.
Right.
Lace your leg around. Good. Now, use your left foot to make him step backwards. Straighten your leg. Yeah, see how he turns his back to you? Now you get that far sleeve. Good. Butterfly hook should be under your knee. It shouldn't be, not like you're crossing your legs. Your right top of your foot should be behind his knee pit. So like you're doing a butterfly stretch.
Right here.
No, your knee should be poking out. Only the top of your foot should be pressing against his knee. Yes, right there. And then same thing on the other side. Okay, so now you're gonna let go with your left hand. You're gonna grab his other ankle. And you're gonna scoot over. Yep. Now butterfly your legs. Good. Now you can reach up and hold the belt with your, don't let go of his sleeve, because you can't kick his feet because you're holding his ankle. So you need to let go of the ankle
Let go of the
too.
foot.
Yeah. So instead, you had his sleeve, right? Hold his sleeve again.
You see?
Instead, hold his belt with your left hand. Yes. And then kick him away. There you go. Put the hooks. There you go.
Now he's choking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good.
Now he do it.
Okay, let me do that again, please.
What's that?
A lot of things going on here, real quick.
Yeah.
Coach. He goes to step out.
Use your feet to push him away. It's your daily Hiva. Yeah. Straighten your leg so he steps back. And as soon as he does, you need a butterfly hook with your right leg. Yep. Don't let go. See how you let go with both your hands? So you drop down to 2 points of contact. Chances are he's going to get away. Yep. All right. So now you should have still had his sleeve, and then you're reaching for the ankle you got there. Go ahead and hold his sleeve for now, because that's where your grip would be. Yep. So now you can actually go 2 hands on the belt, but you need to do it one at a time. So the left hand lets go of the ankle and grabs the belt or the pants or the gi, anything up there. And then the right hand can also. Make sure your right knee stays butterflied. You don't want him stepping basically into a backwards mount. That would be bad, right? So your shins stay in the way. Now you kick him upward and out, like kick him away from you. There you go. Hooks. Put your feet in. And then the seatbelt. Okay. We're going to do a couple other that are similar to that. Okay. Let's see. All right. So let's do, try to stay kind of simple at first. let's do a X guard, okay? So X guard, let's say she stood up, right? I put the feet in the hips and maybe I even hold the ankle, but she starts to get around my guard. She pushes this down and steps over, right? So I'm gonna butterfly hook her knee, okay? I want my knee in the way, but I don't want her, if she steps away, now I gotta catch her again, right? Maybe she pushes this down and then passes me, right? So I gotta keep controls. So I got a foot in the hip. She went to step over my leg. So I'm gonna bring my knee back in the way and I butterfly hook behind her knee, okay? Let's grab the sleeve again. See how she's controlling my knee is normal. And so the wrist is usually right there. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of like curl under her ankle here. I'm gonna slide this knee underneath as well. I put my hand behind my hip, okay? There's other sweeps here as well. And they actually are very similar to the De La Riva sweep, but we're gonna do a back take, okay? So now the easiest way to take the back this time is not to go around the leg, but to go through the legs. And what I actually like to do is hold her shin with both hands and make her step over my head. So I just do that. But don't let go of the leg or she takes off again and you lose control, okay? So I still have my grip. I'm gonna frame inside her knee and I catch it again. Now I'm gonna go to that same butterfly behind both knees and grab the hip. You see I'm still, at all times, I have 3 or 4 points in contact with her. Kick up and out, hooks, seat belt. Okay. There's a lot of ways into the X guard. I could just go straight to it, right? I was just given a scenario before. I can get that far wrist, but really I don't need it because I'm about to make her step over me. 2 hands. If this is heavy, if all her weight's over here, I stretch my X guard. See, now her foot's barely on the mat. Very easy to transfer to the other side. And I just keep a grip above her knee so she doesn't get away. I can even hold the wrist here. I can even go under the leg and hold the wrist here. There's a bunch of ways to do it. At the hip, out, hooks, and seatbelt. All right, so let's try that one. So same back take really, and it's from X guard.
Come on up, stand up here. Get the guard to stand up over there. I want to get the hook here. I want to get up.
But first, you want to butterfly hook his knee with your right foot. Yeah. Now, get your shoulder under his ankle. So either you make him step or you put yourself there. And now your left foot is going to butterfly hook his hip. And I need your knee to poke out the back of his legs. All right. So now, if you're ready for the back, keep your foot really glued against the back of his knee and his hip. Those do not come out. All right, so now what you want to do is you want to make him take a step over you. So go ahead and grab with both hands on his shin and get him to step over. Now go to the position that you were in when you did De La Riva, where you butterfly both knees. Good. And get a grip on the hip or belt and kick up and out. Put your hooks in. Yep. Good. And you want to get those hooks in while he's falling is the best time to get them in. Right? Yeah, once he's landed, he knows where he's at and he's going to not let the hooks in. So you got to get him in while his butt's about to hit the ground.
This is not easy to do with a dummy.
Yeah.
Have you?
He's Gumby. You got it.
Just go from this.
Yeah, I'll
No, stand up.
you need to.
Worry about your.
Yeah, you're
You're
fucking
jumping.
nuts.
So, actually, I see another drop here where I can mount them, actually.
I'm already
Yeah,
going over.
stand up.
Yeah.
Yeah, get these-
There's other sweeps there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, here,
Yeah. Yeah, you didn't get that leg over.
yeah,
That leg is completely good.
real quick, come on.
Take it easy.
Yeah. If you put this here, I'm gonna fall over.
Right.
So it's this one, no?
You're gonna X guard. So your feet make an X position, one behind the knee and one behind the hip, or in front of the hip.
X.
There, correct?
Yeah, this needs in my leg, I'm gonna fall over for the switch.
Yep. Now you float. Yep. And then reach up for the belt.
Better.
Yeah. Good.
Teacher, who's in charge?
Tapping. Ay. He didn't want to do it again. He's gonna choke you too.
There we go.
There you go, get him.
Get him.
I'm gonna get really good at this, and then when we roll, I'm just gonna tap him up every time.
Yeah, you gotta tap, make sure he knows, right?
Exactly.
All right, so another guard with a similar back take will be the spider guard, okay? And you can hold the sleeves for the spider guard. I'm just gonna do it no gi, so I'm not changing in and out the whole time. So let's say she started here, she stood up, have the sleeves, feet go to the hips, right? Now, for spider guard, I want the ridge of my foot to go right in the bend of her elbow. Okay? And then same thing on the other side. One is always straight while the other's bent. Okay? Now, let's scoot this way. Okay, so for this back take, what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna take this straight leg, I'm gonna hook under her foot, and now I'm gonna drive my foot towards you guys. And she's not gonna fall. Don't fall.
I'm not falling. I'm falling.
Don't fall. Okay. And you see where we end up. Okay. Now my free hand goes to the hip. Go to the hip.
I don't know that one.
So the defense, that move would be to roll out of it, right?
Say again?
The defense would be to roll out of it when you had her arm up. When you tried to move her over.
So a lot of these sweeps, these techniques, they're gonna make people fall, right? It's normal for them to fall, especially if they haven't seen the move before. But as people get better, they learn how to use their balance, not fall over. They're more familiar with the move. They start countering things a little bit. And then that's when we resort to some of these back takes. So that's why I keep saying on these guards, there's sweeps that we would try for first, probably, right? And that's gonna keep the person honest. They're gonna react honestly, and that's gonna open up the back take, okay? But because we're on the subject of the back take, we're not addressing the sweeps that are there. There's some really simple sweeps that we could be doing instead of these back takes, but that would be a different topic, right?
Right.
So yeah, there's some sweeps. That could be a sweep in itself right there. You know, I block her hip with like almost like an X guard with my one leg and use the spider guard to knock her over that, that brace there and get on top, right? I would end up with a knee on belly. But for the back take, we're assuming she's keeping her balance.
So I do step forward, right?
Yeah, you gotta catch yourself, all right? So you stand, go hips first, butterfly second, right? When I'm ready for the sweep, I hook the leg. And now I'm putting myself in between her legs, but I'm also making her step over me. Right there, I butterfly her knees and grab the hip. Now I can let go of the arm. Now, put the hooks, and I have the back take.
Coach,
Go ahead
if they
and-
don't step over.
Go ahead and try that. Huh?
If they don't step over, they fall.
You fell, right?
Yeah.
So one is always straight, and one is bent. Yep. Now to rotate yourself to the foot, you're gonna put, kind of like you did with the X guard, the top of your foot goes to the hip. Top of your foot. And your other foot should be in his elbow. He should look like a puppet, yeah. Now you need a curl under his ankle. Remember, you're trying to go through the legs. The top of your foot goes on the hip. Top of your foot. No, that's the bottom. Top of your foot, where your laces go, right? And then curl under his ankle. Do a curl. No, keep your foot by the elbow. Do a curl or an uppercut around his ankle. Would use your left, yep. Yeah, and now aim your right foot towards the wall. To your right side. Yep, keep aiming it, keep aiming it. See, it's starting to move. Do a little more. Don't bend it, keep it straight. And eventually, he's gonna have to step over your head. Keep going. Or else he would lose his balance. There you go. Now grab the belt, and then 2 hands, kick out. There you go. This is a little complicated, but like I said, there's some easier sweeps that we would be going for first. That's gonna open these up better.
Want to try it again?
Yeah, go ahead and try it again. That dummy's just gonna go flying, Alex.
Yeah, there's no way to do it.
Yeah.
Is it
I
good?
tried. I tried. There's no way to. It's hard because I've got to hold it in position.
Yeah.
I mean, I can get halfway there.
You need to throw, yeah, you need to do it.
Halfway there. Foot in the elbow? In the elbow? Yeah.
Now bring me over that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So you force the step, right? And now you get the belt. Yeah.
First thing you gotta do is get these.
And you gotta hold his sleeve longer, right? You're gonna learn that letting go of a grip before you need it somewhere else, you don't wanna do that. You wanna keep the grip until you need it for something else, right? Don't let go. If my hands and my feet are always doing something, right? I never leave them without a job. So if I'm holding the lapel, my left foot needs to go somewhere, my right foot needs to go somewhere, and my left hand needs to go somewhere. So my hands and my feet, they're always doing something. If I let go, I need to find a new job for this. I need to find a new job for the foot. I need to find a new job for the hand, right? I'm always doing something with each limb. Never letting go, right? If I let go, it needs a new job. That's why I say 3 to 4 points, because ideally I have 4 points, but I'll never change my grips if I don't let go. So I let go of 1 at a time. So if I let go of 1, now I have 3. I grab again, now I have 4. Let go of something else, I have 3. Grab something else, now I have 4. So I'm going 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. The job is to break 2 of my grips or break 1 of my grip while I'm transitioning to something else. So now I'm down to 2 and I'm a lot easier to pass. Right? If she gets me down to 2 grips or 2 points of contact, I'll be a lot easier to pass her my guard or, you know, whatever she's trying to do. So as the defense, you're looking to strip those grips. Don't let them have the 3 to 4 points of contact. And as the attacker in this case, you want to make sure you always have that control. Let's do one last one. It's not really the same, but it is similar in a way. We're going to go butterfly guard. Let me make sure I can see. Let's go here. So from the butterfly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an arm drag. So she gets the grips on my pants. She wants to control this. She's trying to pin my leg or shoot it through, do different things to try to pass my guard. I can strip the grip. If I have the sleeve and I take my hook out, I can break the grip like that. So I keep tension on the sleeve. I keep tension on the sleeve. I take my foot out. Keeping the tension, I kick away. I can do that with one and then the other and still keep my butterfly, right? So we're gonna strip the grip. We're gonna put our hook back in and we're gonna arm drag. So my hand that had the sleeve puts the sleeve towards my armpit and I grab the tricep, okay? Now, the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scoot up close and I'm gonna hold the belt. The reason I do that, I wanna cover this shoulder. If she postures and comes back, now we start it all over again. So I strip this grip, I'm here, and I'm gonna hold the belt or I like to get a little bit of the gi in there, because if I just hold the belt, it slides, okay? So I hold the belt and some material, okay? She's trying to posture, I wanna stay tight to her, okay? Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, same thing as the back take, I kick my legs up and out, and my arms unwind, okay? So they were here, I have the tricep, and I have the far gi and belt, or even the lat if it's no gi, and I unwind that, okay? So here, here. Now, she's trying to posture. Good, I want that tension, right? I'm gonna kick up and out and unwind. My feet go in.
I feel like a taste of my back. I broke my back.
Let's go this way.
You should have warned me.
What's the fun in that? Okay. So, oops.
That's it.
So I strip the grip and come here. I put my butterfly hook back in because it's going to help me to lift her up. And I'm putting my ear right against her shoulder, and I hold the belt on the far side, not the same side. Reaching all the way over here to this side. Okay. I'm going to scoop my butt under to load up my butterfly hooks. I'm going to lean back just a little bit, kick up, and twist. Put in the hooks, and the seat. All right.
Hi, Alex.
Let's try that one.
You're missing that, Alex. You need to try it.
Let's try that.
Hi, Brian.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Do it again so we can spotlight it.
No.
Me? Oh, Jesus, really?
Yeah. So arm drag, boom,
No, keep your butterfly.
and hold the far side. You got your hook back in?
No, you need butterflies.
You took the one hook that you took out to break the grip, go ahead and put it right back in. Yep. Use that to elevate because they're going to be heavier than the dummy. Good. Yep. Nice. Put your butterfly hooks in, and he's going to be on his knees. One of you are going to be on your knees. Yep. Like you're trying to pass the butterfly guard. Now you do it, Juan.
Cool.
Your turn. Arm drag. Good. Really drag his hand to the mat. That's going to help you reach. Yep. Now you're going to scoot your butt in so you can load your legs. Yep. Lean back just a little bit, kick him up into the air, and untwist his body.
Yeah, right.
You're going to pull the arm and you're going to pull the belt. He's got to be in the air when you do it.
Lift your knees up.
Take out your legs.
You got to lift him with your feet. Yes, now, then you untwist him. So I'm going like this. I'm kicking up and then doing that. Yeah. Untwisting and kicking him into the air. Yeah, you got to get his weight off the ground.
So I'm here, right? So I'm trying to break the computer.
Yep. So you drag that arm across. Yeah. If there's no grip, it's a lot easier just to arm drag him. Yep. Good. And then hold his far lat or hip. Yes.
Yep.
There you go.
Nice.
And then put the hooks in. There you go. So that's what you got to do. You felt how you went in the air and then he spun you? You went in the air and then he spun you. So you got to get him in the air and then spin him.
I'm not gonna do it after you.
You can do it.
Come on. You're leaning back, don't lean back.
You got to scoot under. You got to load. You got to load yourself, right?
You want to shoot through me. You're going to shoot through the phone.
Scoot your butt closer.
I don't know what he's doing because I can't lift him.
Let me see.
You're not getting him up in the air yet.
Look,
You got to get him in the air.
out and you're pulling.
Yep.
Stay tight.
Come on,
And stay tight to him too. There you go. There you go. So that was the start of it, right? Now you open your legs so he stays in between your legs. So after you kick him in the air, your hooks come out and into the lap.
Kick out.
Yeah, that's how it starts. So you got one of the hooks. Now you just got to get the other hook, right? Rita wants to try, so let you guys watch that.
Oh, I even don't know how to do it, guys.
You'll be fine.
Huh?
Butterfly. No. Take your foot out. Yeah. No, hold my flat. Hold my muscle. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
It's hard. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta get close.
Yeah, it's hard to grab.
There you go. Yeah. Nice.
It's not a lie.
Let me go.
So, Coach, you're basically starting a butterfly sweep, right?
Yeah.
It's you could do the back take, the normal back take, right, instead.
Right.
But this is more like the other sweeps that we were just.
Right.
So where a butterfly sweep, yeah, I guess a little bit similar, except with the normal butterfly sweep, you're not doing an arm drag. You're just keeping your underhook. Yeah. And then falling to the shoulder, right? Tucking out the overhook and driving him over. This is more spinning him into your guard or your back take.
Yeah, very good, Alex.
Tony's looking. What's this one? Nice.
I named this thing Tony, by the way. And it still gets me to Kimura every time.
That's funny. All right, guys. Let me think if there's another back take I want to show real quick. Along the lines of that.
The regular one. They don't know the regular one.
No, it's not. It's concept.
Oh.
It's not the same concept. Okay, so let's go into the anaconda. Okay, I don't want to confuse you with too many back takes. I wanted to keep it similar so you can see how the same idea can be used in different guards and it's still a back take. So you can use that and you'll find yourself in other guards that you'll still be able to do the same back take. Gotcha. Birthday dinner. All right. Tony had to go.
Today's his birthday. Didn't say happy birthday to him.
Birthday dinner. That doesn't mean.
It is his birthday today.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, he already left. Okay, so we're going to do anaconda. Take off the key. Okay, so the anaconda is similar to the darce in that it's an arm triangle, and we're also trying to, Arsenio, we're going to be doing an arm triangle, but we're not doing armpit to the neck, right? That's a darce. We're taking our arm from the neck to the armpit, or if I'm going this way, neck to the armpit, right? So my darce, the hand comes out near the neck, and the anaconda, the hand comes out near the armpit. So that's the main difference, is where we're entering into it. Then we're gonna have to finish it a different way. So from this position, right, just turtle, if I go from her neck, I slide right against the neck and come out at the armpit, I'm gonna lock a rear naked choke up right here, okay? The RNC type grip, okay? So if I go this way, I'm locking up on the far side. The hand that is locking, I spider curl my fingers at least to the spine, okay? At least to the center. The next thing I need to do is to knock her over, right? So from this angle, if I try to knock her to her side, she has a hand to post with. That's going to be difficult, okay? But if I go to the other side, see, I'm tracking this arm. She's not going to have a post that way, okay? But I do want her on this side. So what we're going to do is, what's that, 270? We're going to roll her over me all the way to the other side. And I'll do this in both directions so you guys see all the different angles. So over here, I push the arm across, lock up my grip, and I'm going to roll towards the shoulder that I have trapped. So what I do so I don't get my head stuck is I get my head as far under her as I can before I roll her. So she actually rolled to the other side of my head. She didn't roll on my head. And I stopped to remember on the shoulder that I wanted her to fall on, which was the one that I don't have trapped. Now the choke happens when I start walking my feet to try to catch her foot. So I'm just walking, and if I can, trap her foot and then bridge. That's gonna create the choke. And on the other side, remember neck, so I'm gonna use my other hand so I can go this way now. Neck to armpit. I like to push this in tighter. Run my bicep to my hand, spider curl, okay? Dipping my head under, rolling to the other side. I stop it right here. And I start walking my feet, crack her foot. he's tapping beforehand, that's normal. But if I can, I trap the foot and then I bridge with my choke. Okay.
I mean, chances are they're gonna tap long before you get to their leg.
Yeah, unless they're skinny or flexible sometimes, then they can usually deal with the choke a little bit more. Bigger guys, the muscle starts choking because they got a bigger muscle, it's going in their neck quicker. Or if you're short arms, that chokes them quicker too. If you got long, thin arms, it might take you locking up their legs and really bridging to finish it. So everybody's different. All right. Let's try that one.
So it's through the neck.
Neck to the armpit, yep. And now your right hand, crawl up until you feel his, until you feel his spine.
Then I'm gonna roll towards that shoulder.
You're gonna roll, this way. But before you go, see how you got your head squished? You gotta dip your head under his belly before you roll. Okay, now walk until you can try to catch his feet with your feet. He's tapping. Yeah. It looks like your hand is not completely over your bicep.
No, it's more on my forearm.
Yeah, it needs to be up on the bicep or it's not tight enough. So to do that, you need to remember on the darce, we dip our shoulder. You got to dip your shoulder so you can reach your hand out further. Yeah. Bicep to the hand. So your hand needs to come through more. Yeah. Better. Oh. He tapped sooner too. You forgot to dip your head under, but it'll still work. You're just going to get squished when you roll them over, you know?
You drop the shoulder more. Before you roll, you gotta drop it. Back in the roll. Shoot all the way through. All the way through. Look, you're really rotating.
Make sure that his hand isn't, make sure his bicep is not here in front of his face, but the bicep is under the chin. Just like other arm triangles, we need to have the shoulder lined up properly. Yeah. You got to work on that RNC grip.
Yeah,
Dipping your shoulder, getting your hand out. The same thing is going to happen on the darce. We need to have that arm real deep.
No, you gotta look at the neck.
Yeah, the neck this way, right?
Yeah.
Did I go the other way?
No, you went right.
You go all the way till you're on your left shoulder sideways, and then walk your feet to catch the feet. Try to hook his feet with your feet.
There's no way you'll be able to get there. You'll have it built long before that.
Yeah, that's good. That means the grip is tight.
So I'm going this way, right? Right. This.
Yes.
I want to go this way, right?
Grab your bicep.
To your right.
Bicep.
Roll to your right. Yep.
I got squished. I should have tucked my head.
Yeah. it feels like you can't, but you just try to dip your head under and you'll avoid getting squished. Now keep walking.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
I think it's harder for him because his arms are a little.
Yeah.
But this is stuff you guys can drill and practice and get better at, right? While we can't be here, at least you guys have each other that you could, work on it with. Let's see. So that was the stuff that was asked for ahead of time. Does anybody have any other things they want to work on? Arsenio?
Now you said, Coach, you said that really the only difference between that and the Darth choke is that one is going into the neck, then the shoulder, or where the other one's going more shoulder than neck.
Correct. Yeah. Where you enter the arm triangle from is the main difference. And then that's going to change how you have to perform it as well. Right. But that's how you know right off the bat which one you're doing is where your hand's entering.
So are those both considered arm triangles? Is that what you said
Yes,
they're called?
they're both arm triangles.
Okay.
The Walsh, when we did the turtle, escape, like coming off of the turtle transition into a choke, that was a Walsh. That was an arm triangle.
Okay.
The arm triangle, when you have their head and their arm from side control and you're choking them there, that's an arm triangle. That's the one we usually think about as an arm triangle. And then the leg triangle is the triangle with the legs, right? And that's the one that we usually think of when we just say triangle. There's a lot of arm triangles.
Now, what Juan was explaining, can you dumb it down for me again as far as the difference between Darce and Anaconda as far as like entry, what you were talking about?
Yeah. So if she's here and I go from her armpit, my hand exits at the neck, this is going to be a Darce. Right here. That's a Darce.
Okay.
My hand, the same hand, goes instead in front of the neck. And then
Instead of the
armpit, that's going to be an Anaconda. Right? So Darce. Anaconda. So that's the main, like that's how we start it differently, right?
So they both essentially have a head and arm.
Correct.
But one you start from the head side, the other you start from the arm side.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I still haven't fixed my dummy to give it a head, so that's why I'm not trying. I got to give it a head.
Yep. Yeah, because then you know where the neck would be, right?
Right.
And you can perform the chokes better.
Since we're on the subject of chokes, and I know that Rita loves this so much, I remember you guys going through the Ezekiel choke with gi and no gi. Is that correct? Am I wrong, or am I thinking of something else?
Now, there's an Ezekiel with the gi. You hold your own sleeve. So if I'm here with her, my arm goes around, grab my own sleeve. This goes under the neck, and then I straighten my arms. That's going to choke, right? I'm making a loop with the sleeve, and I can choke. Now, I use my sleeve, right? So can't use the rash guard. But if I had a gi, I'd be using my sleeve. No gi, you really don't need to do the Ezekiel. Go here with the mouth. So the concept here for me with a no gi Ezekiel, what you'll see people do is they go under, they hold their own bicep. Now for me to get my hand under her jaw, it's pretty much impossible. I don't know. I don't bend that way. I could go here first, right? Hold my own bicep and then hold my elbow. But at the same time, why would I stop at my elbow? I'm limiting my motion, right? Here's probably enough to get her to tap, but the reality is this is no different than if I just cup her shoulder with one hand and start pressing my elbow to the mat, okay? So I don't mess around with trying to get my hand under, holding the bicep, and then trying to touch my hand to the elbow. It's just like, it's a waste of, unnecessary movements that she's gonna start blocking. I can easily just hold the shoulder, start dropping my elbow, right? And on both of these, it's not like she can't get out. All she has to do is turn that way, right? And she got out. And that's actually what I use it for, right? So I put my hand on the shoulder, I start forcing the choke, she has to turn to avoid the choke. My foot goes to the hip, my knee slides up to the head, and I seatbelt. From here, I can try to take the back, or I can work an arm bar, right? There's a bunch of stuff I can do here. Getting the back's a really easy one. In fact, we did back this, might as well show it. So, over here, I'm gonna go shoulder, start pressing my elbow down. She turns her throat towards where the opening is, right? Where my elbow is. I'm gonna make sure my heel goes to her hip and my knee slides up to the head, like a technical mount, right? My seatbelt comes in. My seatbelt comes in. I'm gonna tuck my foot right against her back. And then I'm gonna sit, rocking her to the other side, and then I throw in the other hip. It's a really easy back take. So Ezekiel with the gi, yes, very good move. Ezekiel without the gi, I would just bypass that and just forearm choke, right? It's much easier to get to. It does the same thing. They're going to be able to get out of the no-gi Ezekiel just as easily, and you can use it to set up a back take. When someone's in the mount just being super defensive, that's a good little thing to do. You're not going to tap them out unless they don't know what they're doing. So then when they turn sideways, you can use that to take the back or go for an armbar. Does that answer that question about the Ezekiel?
Yeah, no, I like that the fact that, like you said, there's something when she goes to turn to defend it, to turn it, potentially.
Yeah.
But that actually reminds me of something Rita taught in one of the morning classes, that if somebody turns, you can actually set their arm up to choke them with their own arm.
Yeah. There's moves that are not in the gi. I mean, there's moves with the gi that aren't always transferable to no-gi. No-gi Ezekiel being one of them. Yes, you can make a move that looks just like the Ezekiel, but is it worth it? I don't think so, right? There's like, people try to find an equivalent for no-gi, and the reality is there's always going to be moves that you can do with the gi that you can't do without the gi. You can always do the no-gi moves wearing the gi because you don't, all that is required is that you don't use the material, right? But the gi, that's something added in to the grappling with a gi on that you're obviously not going to be able to supplement everything, right? You might find something similar, but it won't always be as effective. Alex.
Can you, since we were there at technical now, can you go over bow and arrow choke real quick?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Can you put the gi on?
Yeah.
This is a great choke.
This is something that I want to address with I guess technical mount, or even just usually I see higher belts doing this. They give up side control or whatever. I know they're just letting the guy work, but then they turn their back to the person instead of facing them and framing. They get a little lazy on the position because they're good at defending, but the reality is they're leaving a lot of openings for submissions. And it's not a good habit to make because then you start rolling with someone your level and you give your back like that and they tap you real fast. So try not to make a habit of, if I get to side control here, that you just turn away and get comfortable here, right? Don't get comfortable here. There's a lot of bad stuff that can happen and you don't want to be comfortable here, right? Yeah, she should be facing me, framing, right? I want you that way. I'll do this to people, put my chest under, start pushing them away, and force this, right? The gift wrap, you know, I'm forcing her to stay here, right? So, right. So technical mount. So she's that way, right? My foot digs in the hip here. Okay. This knee up by the head. Okay. You all right?
It just hurts. All right, go ahead.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this lapel up. I use this hand. I just turn it this way.
Hey, Coach.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Are you going to be coming towards us with the move? Because it seems like you're cut off a little bit.
No,
Nope.
he's gonna choke me.
It's going to go back. It's going to go back towards you. Okay.
So I don't hold here when I hold a lapel. I actually like to turn it inside out. This hand is going to come real close to her neck, thumb down. That way when I turn it up, it lifts her neck, right? So I enter with my thumb down, and then I lift the jawline, and I put the gi into my hand.
That's cool.
I really like when someone pulls their own gi thinking they're defending because they're helping me to get this deeper. Okay. Now, I reach down. Once I get this grip, I'm good. I'm going to sure my elbow's close to my hip. Okay, I'm going to leave it loose for now. She's ready to tap. Hold the pants right by her knee. And I'm going to do the same thing as when I took the back. I'm going to slip my foot behind, right next to her back. It's hard to see, but it's touching her back now. That way, when I sit back, I can kick this through. And I'm looking to throw it over her arm. Okay. Now remember, my elbow's tight to my hip. And then what I do is I lay back with that. I'm not holding your neck.
Just making sure he knows.
I'm not holding your neck. Okay.
Give more.
So you see the difference that the elbow close to my hip did. That made the difference of me not being able to complete the move, right? So we're here. Let's say we're just here. Let's start maybe in side control. And what I do is I'll get here and I'll push this arm across their face and I hold with the other hand. Then I push the tricep and I set my chest right behind the shoulder. And see this hand's coming under already? And I drive. Now she's sideways. I clear up on the knee and I'm gonna step over my own arm and drag it back. Sliding my knee up to her head. Seatbelt.
And the whole time you already have the gi.
I have
right?
the sleeve.
It's kind of cut. Oh, okay.
Yep. I'm just holding. We call this gift wrap.
That's the control.
I'm holding
Of
gift.
the wrist.
Yep. Now I'm gonna go under her arm, and I could go seatbelt first, but I don't need to. I'm gonna open my gi, and I'm gonna reach in. So all I did was let go of the sleeve and grab her neck, grab the lapel by the neck.
Yeah, then most of them are free now. But most of them are
Reach
free.
down, grab a wrinkle, foot close to the back. My elbow's tight. Sit, kick through, and track.
You go into an actual person, so
Lay
then
back.
this is all drawn lines. Yeah, but I don't have a lot. I don't like right now. We've got a. Hold on 1 second. I'm actually in jiu-jitsu right now.
Lay down.
Oh, thank you. Okay. So any questions on that one?
But you're gonna this way.
Were you able to see good, Arsenio, or do you need me to show it again?
I gotta go.
No, I think you were good. I just because like I said, you're closer to the camera, so I couldn't see your underneath arm. But you told
Okay.
me that you're holding the wrist.
Yeah, I'm just
Can you-
holding the
can you do
wrist.
that?
We call that gift wrap. And that's
Okay.
like,
So that way she can't roll back into you.
right. Yeah,
Or towards
her
you,
arm
rather.
stuck across her face.
Right.
Yeah.
Now for her, she's in that position. her defense would be to try to
Break the
Get
grip
that
on
hand
her sleeve.
on the lapel,
Yep.
the sleeve
So that
and
way
the
she
lapel.
can face me and frame.
Okay.
So when you're on the bottom side control, your job is to turn on your side facing their body, not their head, facing their
Right.
body, frame on their neck and their hip with your arms. So to be like this, all right? One in their hip, one in their neck.
That's where I want to be, right?
Working your knee in. Yeah, that's where the bottom wants to be.
Probably want to get deeper.
No, I don't even trust you. So, Coach,
Yep.
here, I'm just gonna sit back and bring my leg over.
Your legs were over.
Your knee should be close to his shoulder. Your right knee. Now put your foot next to his butt. And then sit. Kick your right leg through. And now throw it over the arm. Good. Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
You see, you don't do that.
So from here, I wanna,
Yeah, that's just to keep him facing away. If he turtles, then we do something different.
But if you can get to that point, you're pretty good, right?
Oh yeah.
Where
Yeah.
you put the leg over, because then
Yeah, because we call that technical mount.
yeah.
Yeah.
Could you essentially? I mean, I know you don't want to stay in any position for an extended period of time, but would that be the point where you can kind of take your time?
Yeah. Yeah, you can take your time and work.
You know what I mean, and work and get that grip.
Yeah, he's
And
got to
then-
get out of there. You don't have to worry.
You don't really do that.
So when you're performing moves, like you're trying to learn the move and you want to be able to do the complete movement, you'll see when I teach the moves, I let up on certain things because I
Right.
know if I don't stay loose with certain things, they're going to tap early. And I want
Right.
to complete the entire technique. So what I do is I'll let go of things. I won't be as tight to my rib, right? I'll let that loose so she can breathe, right?
And you could
While
sit
I'm-
back and throw the leg
While
over.
I'm doing the rest of the move, yeah. Otherwise,
Right,
we'll
okay.
never be able to complete the entire move in drilling because they're choking already, they're tapping already, you know? So that's a good thing about a dummy is they don't tap, right? And so you can,
Right.
as tight as you want, as strong as you want, and work the whole move.
Yeah, I got to do that tonight.
Yeah.
I got to give it a head and neck.
So you got to learn like what some key components of the move, like that, the grip and keeping your elbow tight, that's almost make or break, right? So I'll let that loose. So now I can practice the other parts of the move. Because when you start going against high level guys, even though you're doing those things, they're still not tapping. You're going to have to complete the entire movement, the entire
Right.
technique, right?
Right.
And so it's important to drill the whole thing. And so to take care of your partner and not be too tight with everything and too aggressive with everything, right? And so that way they can actually last through the entire technique without having to tap. So it's like a little skill to have that you also have to develop on top of your regular jiu-jitsu. Is just learning how to do the move easy, so that way you can preserve your partner, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Now that gift wrapping, when he gets to that part where you're holding the sleeve,
Mm-hmm.
that essentially that won't stop them from turtling, right? Because they could keep rolling.
You can turtle, right?
If they know what's going, you know what I mean, if they know essentially what's coming,
Yeah, they can turtle.
that's probably where they're going to want to go.
Right.
So that's why we throw that leg over as quickly as possible.
Yeah, so that's going to help that. So when they do turtle, that hook should go right in, and then you're going to be working your other hook. Right?
Oh, would they still be able to turtle if you once you throw that leg over?
If you have gift wrap, they can still turtle if you step over to technical mount. The problem is,
Really?
when you turtle, they're going to open up space for that hook to go all the way in.
For that hook to go in.
Right?
Okay.
And so then you'll need to put in your trail hook, the hook
Right.
that is not in yet.
Yeah.
They can definitely turtle, yeah.
Trap the arm, right?
do it.
Yep, thumb in.
You can just grab the back of the shoulder, right?
So you won't get a choke there, no gi, because you only have one side of his neck getting choked. If he doesn't mind, you could put your thumb inside the rash guard and pull that, and that will choke him. And then you pull it like you're cutting his neck. So in this slicing type of motion.
So it would be this way.
Yes,
How about back to the
that
shoulder?
way. Yeah.
You usually do it grabbing the shoulder though?
It's been done, but you'd have to have a really deep grip.
Yeah.
And it's for the throat, right? That's
If you have that arm trap, it's gonna, right, that's the whole thing is getting that arm trap for the thrust.
yeah.
Right, because when I lean back,
And that's going to be more airway. So we have air chokes in jiu-jitsu. You'll notice that most of our chokes are blood chokes. An air choke is they know they're getting choked, right? It's pretty violent. They're going to freak out. They're going to try to defend way before they tap. They're going to be like, oh, this hurts, and they can't breathe. Where a blood choke, 80% of the time, unless they're trained, they don't even realize they're getting choked. I've seen so many times where a student goes, hey, coach, he's not choking me. I can still talk. And then right there, they pass out. Because it's the blood. Of course you can talk, you can breathe, but the oxygen and your blood pressure is getting shut down, and that's so they pass out. So jiu-jitsu tends to favor the blood chokes because of their effectiveness. Where if I did that forearm choke, like the no-gi Ezekiel, that's all throat right there. The person's gonna freak out. They're not gonna let that happen, and you don't have a real lock to keep them in. Now with the Ezekiel with the gi, there's no real way out of that. Once you start extending your arms, it's already wrapped all the way around your neck, is enveloped with gi or wrist bone, whatever it might be, and the structure's already there. You already locked your arms out. So they're gonna get choked. There's not like, you can't freak out of that one. And that should be a blood choke, right? So when I go across, I'm not looking to chop at the throat. I'm looking to get this knife hand on the other side of the neck. So I have my knife hand on the side, and then this piece of gi on the other side. So I'm still getting a blood choke on an Ezekiel, if I did it right.
okay.
Alex is doing business.
Is Ezekiel, did you guys go over that in the beginning?
We
I
didn't,
got off.
but he's seen it before, and he asked
Sorry,
me.
Chris.
Yeah.
I'm here. Right.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
I was on the phone. Technical now. Where is your weight?
On my base behind them. So slide your knee up close to the dummy's head. Yeah. So you're above the shoulder. Yeah. You can have seatbelt, right, or anything.
Right.
And I am digging my heel into their hip, because if you're too light on your foot, they push that into the half guard.
That's what happens to me a lot.
Yeah. So my base is behind them because I don't want to be over them. Imagine if you're putting all your weight on the foot, right? On the foot that's over, he turtled. If you're tight to him and your weight's on the foot and he turtles, you're probably getting rolled over, right?
Right.
And so I'm aware of that. I'm also aware that if he was to break my grip and he really bumped and shrimped to face me, that could knock me backwards as well. So my base is on my shin. It's like combat stance. My base is on my shin, but I have, like I'm active with this, right? And it's tight to their hip, and I'm also hiding my foot, and any grips that are trying to like push my foot into the half guard, I'm removing their grip. So
Okay.
it's really good there.
So keeping this active to keep the grip.
Yeah, an underhook right there so you can't push your foot.
Next thing too on the bow and arrow, when I sit, so we're coming forward and then we're kicking this out. This is going over the shoulder.
Yeah, over the bicep, shoulder, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Is there any?
You got up, so you got up to do that. You don't need to. Windshield wipe your foot right against his back and then I sit and kick.
You're going in this way?
I sit and kick that through. Yep. And then it flies over the arm.
That makes sense.
Because if you get up and he, again, breaks the grips and aggressively turns to face you, you'll lose him. Yep.
So that's what you're talking about? Underneath, kind of?
Yeah.
So we're here.
Keenan and some other people, they call it a chair sit.
Okay.
They call it chair sit. So they just go here and they sit with the seatbelt. So now they're sitting behind them and they put their hooks.
Now the purpose of grabbing that leg,
So he doesn't roll away anymore,
so they don't roll. Okay.
right? Because he can roll away. If Alex doesn't have the dummy's leg and the dummy unwinds by rolling, like a log roll, and faces them, he doesn't
That
get
way.
choked.
I gotcha. Okay.
You hold the knee so they can't roll out of it.
So that's essentially not part of the choke. It's just to keep them from rolling away.
Yeah, it
That
does
choke
cause
is
a little
still
bit of
just that lapel.
discomfort because the bow and arrow, right? They get a little bit of a bow in their body. It's a little
Spreads them
awkward
out a
for
little
them,
bit.
but it's not choking.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Let's see what.
Yeah, it looks way better, Alex.
It's easier.
Yeah, it looks way better than when you got up earlier. Like you kind of hipped up and then went back. It looks way smoother.
Back down.
Not giving them as much time. Like
Right.
this way, with a lot of time.
Yeah.
And also you can turtle, I think. If I'm going this way, there's no
Just
turtle.
kicking it over. Yep.
Yeah.
When you do that transition. Even you want to try another one?
This one is one of my favorite jokes.
Oh yeah.
I love this. There's no way out of here.
That's essentially the same position, Coach?
Yeah,
Yeah.
coming this way.
Yeah. So that's like basically like a bow and arrow, but you're using so we have collar choke where we hold both the collars and we choke from behind. And then we have one where we go behind the neck and we choke, right? So it's the same thing, just a different hand grips.
It's almost like a figure four.
Yeah.
It's nasty.
Yeah. So there's a few chokes from the back, and basically they are the same when you have this bow and arrow type position. You could do all the same hand positions as if you had the back. And so that's kind of goes full circle. What we've been trying to talk about is concepts, right? So
Right.
Alex understands the different choke positions from behind,
Not really.
flying to the technical mount, right?
Right.
The same exact chokes from the technical mount. Without me having to teach it, he can't apply it. If he thinks about it, he goes, oh, I could just do this, or this, or this, or this, right?
Right.
Get about 4 new chokes from that position.
Okay.
Coach,
Yes.
back up a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm
back
trying to- from that position, back up. Turn. One, back up one.
There you go.
Remember a choke from this position. If I remember, there's a choke of sliding the hand in here.
That's a choke we all want to be a choke, but it doesn't really work good.
No?
Is that
Who used to watch professional wrestling?
the $1 million dream, baby?
$1 Million Dream. Yeah, it doesn't really work. Unfortunately. You could probably do a fist choke, right?
Yeah.
Get the gift wrap and you start putting your fist in the other side. Yeah, but fist chokes tend to use a little bit of energy, and if it doesn't work, now you have an angry opponent and a tired arm, right? And so it could work, but I would use your fist instead of trying to lace your hand through, because every way we've tried it hasn't worked on every single person that's let us do it, right? And that's someone letting us do it. That's not someone defending. Now, if you use your fist, you're gonna have your fist on one side and your forearm on the other. You could make a choke happen, right? Blood choke, right? So you're going on the side of the neck with this, and then your forearm on the other side. You're squeezing that with the gift wrap, then that could work. But lacing your arm through and everything hasn't seemed to work. Also, I've seen a lot of variations of a no-gi bow and arrow. And then when I try it on guys in here that are letting me do it, none of the ways that we've been shown or I've seen have ever worked. So I wouldn't call that very reliable either, right? So that's why I showed taking the back as an option, because if you can't get a no-gi bow and arrow, might as well just take the back and then choke them from the back, right? So play with it. If you figure out a way, let me know, you know. But yeah, theoretically, if you laced your arm through and put enough pressure on the side of his neck, it would choke him. But when you have a guy moving around and defending, so there's a lot of stuff that theoretically would work, but then when the person's defending, you never can seem to get it, right? So that's the only thing, unfortunately, because it would be so cool if it worked.
It's a good setup for an armbar, though, right?
Yes. So you could like fake that, like you're trying to choke them, make them think about it, and then you throw your leg over the head and get the armbar. Yep.
Well, yes, that's correct. But if you're on side control, my thing is to be here. I want to get that knee up. I don't want to let you turn me this way. So if you're on side control on this side, right? You're on side control.
You guys have any other
I want to turn out
positions?
right? Be in this position.
Standing bow and arrow.
Any bow and arrow? A flying bow and arrow choke.
Thinking about next tournament.
Yeah, right? Pulling off a flying bow and arrow. You missed the flying bow and arrow.
Well, so, hey, Coach, so as long as we're talking technical mount, gift wrap,
Yeah.
how would you, I feel like there should be a way to get to an arm triangle from here, no?
Yes. So if you transitioned your arm around the head, your right arm around the head, and you lock up a rear naked choke, then you would have, and then you flatten them out, you'll have a mounted arm triangle, right? And then you could always dismount to make it even tighter.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'll do the same thing from the back. So like, think of this like him escaping the back, right? You had both hooks. He slipped his hip off of your left foot, so he's escaping your back. If you wrapped up his head, right, with your right arm and lock your hands, and you let him continue to escape so his back's flat on the mat.
Oh, I see it. Yep.
You get an arm triangle.
And we're right here.
Yep. And I'll do that a lot. I'll let people escape the back and they go right into an arm triangle.
Arm triangle. Huh.
I love that.
So this, I mean, there's a lot of stuff on that technical mount then. I mean, if they try to get flat, you can, if everything else has failed, you can start allowing them to go flat as long as you've got the arm across, right?
Yeah. And that's why I'm trying to get our guys to stop hanging out in that position. That's a bad position to be hanging out. And sure, the white belts don't know what to do to us, but someone higher is going to know what to do. You know what I mean? And if our habit's to be there, that's where we're going to start getting caught.
Okay.
Can't hang out.
Inside mount, you mean?
Hanging out on the bottom technical mount.
Bottom technical?
Or even without the foot over, just being in bottom side control, facing away, you know?
Oh, right.
A lot of people feel safe there, but they're not safe.
Right.
I wish you wouldn't talk about me like that.
What's that?
I said, I wish you wouldn't talk about me like that. you know that I still turn away. So here,
You're not the
there's
only
a lot.
There's a bunch.
There's a lot of stuff here.
Oh, yeah.
So we've got this. If that fails, it still can come here. If that fails, can I throw armbar?
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah.
There's a ton of stuff there.
Yep.
Cool.
It's not hard to get there. Like I said, I showed you how I force it, right? I'm
Yeah.
the face away, using my chest behind their shoulder and tricep until I got that position.
Yeah.
Now, are you taking pressure off when you come back to get under that shoulder when you're on side mount to force them over?
To get to what he just did right there.
I know how you had shown how you did it with Rita there.
Yeah.
When you're in side mount and you go to force it, you kind of sit back more on your heels to get under that shoulder and then chest up.
I keep the pressure because they're going to be constantly trying to. In the beginning, she didn't know what I wanted her to do, and you've seen that she kept trying to go flat to her back again.
Right.
They're going to constantly be doing that. So I need to
get back to their back.
Keep pressure. Now with that pressure, now I'm going to sneak that arm underneath and then get the gi or get the wrist, right? Once I get the wrist, I can pull it that way and force them to go
that shoulder over.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's going to help keep them where I want them.
So that's your initial move is you want to grab that wrist and get them over.
I hold the wrist and then I come from under their armpit and I hold my own wrist. So I modify the gift wrap. So it's like a seatbelt and a gift wrap combined. And that's usually good enough to keep them away, facing away, and my back close to them. Right?
Right.
All those things together is difficult to face me again.
This for here?
Right.
Yeah.
How is this? Come on, yes. So you're not, well, that's not working. Right. I'm resisting. I start turning this way. Grab your hand. Grab your hand here. Your hand here. Grab your knee. And then sit back.
Yeah, but I want to be
Right there, tight. Boom. Armbar.
right. Okay.
Yeah, I was just showing him basically what Alex was doing.
Yeah.
If the grip wrap was resistant, he started to turn towards you to roll him into an armbar.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff there. You could go, Alex, you could go north-south, kneeling over his head, and you have a Kimura, right? That whole Kimura system there.
Yep.
Yeah, it's all there. So it connects a lot of things there. The whole attacking the turtle, because if they can't face you, they're going to want to turtle, right? They can't stay there facing away. You'll get something. So they might turtle, and you have the whole attacking the turtle. So it's a huge piece of the puzzle.
Well, that's why I'm working on that whole near side armbar, north-south choke, which I never get, opposite side Kimura, and last ditch effort is armbar.
Yep.
All right, Coach. I know I'm going over the same thing over and over, but when, because I'm just thinking of, like I said, our class, right? We're taught to frame.
Right.
So I'm just thinking, I get somebody in that side mount, they frame up.
Yep.
The wrist I'm going to want to grab is going to be the one on my neck, correct? And try to get that one to try to get them to face away from me, right?
So what I do, if someone's framing good and they're starting to shrimp, I'm not going to try to beat them at something they're doing good. So what I do is I move around it, so to speak, and I physically will go around. So what I do is the frame that's in my neck, if their elbow's here and their fist is here, then I start going north-south. I'll throw my arm around their arm and swing my feet around everything. I'm going to spin from one side to the other
Okay, you just left the screen completely.
You want the guitar?
So the guy's here. He's got his frame in my hip and in my neck, right?
Right.
And he's trying to move his lower body away. I'm not going to usually try to fight this because the frame is, I mean, it's good defense for a reason. So what I do is I'll throw this arm all the way around to the same side that I'm on, but this way around. And I'm going to swing my legs around this way too. And I end up behind him, right? Get the wrist, drop my chest under the shoulder, and drive. Grab the wrist, grab my own wrist. Now we're right here.
So you take it from the opposite side.
Yeah, so I spin around him, right? Once I get there, big step, drag it tight, knee next to his head, and now I can do what I want.
And now you take your time and then gi. Boom. Right. Okay.
I
So
don't
with
fight.
north-south though, you're not staying in north-south. You're getting north-south, hitting the other
spin all
side.
the way to the other side. Yep.
And then grab that wrist as you're coming across.
Yeah, what I do is I go around the tricep. So I go here.
Watch this.
Right.
So it's almost like feels like a reverse armbar.
Right.
I'm draping my hand over, and this hand is going to the hip. It's hard to see, but I went to his hip, and I to the other side, spin to the other side. I get the wrist, shoulder, chest goes behind his shoulder, and I drive.
And that other arm is coming underneath already.
I pass the wrist to my other hand. And then this under the armpit grabs my own wrist. So we're right there.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
Now they're facing away.
Coach, I think that's the choke I was talking about right there.
That's not a choke though, it's just control. That wouldn't choke him.
That wouldn't choke him? Okay.
No, it wouldn't choke him. For a choke, you need good pressure on both sides of the neck. And on that one, there's some good pressure on one side, but not the other side. So it's good for control, but that's not choking. Yeah. Yep.
Very cool. Hey, Coach, how long are these videos up? They're going to be on YouTube, and they're going to be up for us to view them a couple times, right?
Yeah, so they're unlisted right now, which
Right.
you need the link to be able to see them.
Right.
And my plan is, unless somebody objects, my plan is to make them public after we're back training again. So that way, only right now the members can see them, and only the members can benefit from them. Unless somebody handed out the link to somebody, only you guys will be able to see it while it matters, right? And then once we're able to train again, then release it so that way we get a little bit of exposure to the public.
Yeah, but listen, I don't want Keenan knowing my moves.
Oh, we might be able to block Keenan so he can't.
Oh, wait a minute. Is this being recorded?
Yes. Yes,
I was
it is.
kidding. I meant Keenan Smith. Somebody named Keenan Smith.
That's funny. Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah, because there's some good stuff that we're going over that we don't always get to talk about in the class. Like I said, we got a ton of members, but only a few of us are on here. And
Right.
it's like after class when everybody's done rolling and there's only a few guys left in the gym. And that's when we talk about stuff like this, that little details
More concepts.
make a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And not everybody gets to see that. So.
And I need this. I would have been going crazy the last 3 weeks.
Oh yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, are you going to be able to still do this?
Yeah, so from what I understand, the lockdown that they just announced is no different than the lockdown that the gyms have already been set to, right?
Okay.
So for us, Danny asked me about that because we do something for our Rocksteady program.
Mhm.
And he asked me, are we still going to be able to do it? And I was like, yeah, because what everybody else has to abide by is what gyms have already been stuck to already.
Okay.
So
Well, I thought that it was that you can't be on the road unless you're essential.
if that happens, then we'll just pick up some mats and bring them to the house,
Okay.
do it from the house. And that's pretty much what the other gyms are doing already anyway. I just felt like driving to the gym each time to do it. I thought it'd be a better.
All right. I got a Caterpillar in the house. Hang on.
Yeah, but if we need to, I'll just take like 4 to 6 mats, and we'll do it at the house.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
If that happens, guys, you know, and they allow us to train not at the gym but at home as a group, you're all welcome to do some of that here as well. So
Yeah, I know I've seen some people doing trainings in their garage. They're keeping the groups very small, like to 5 people, but I don't think they're supposed to be doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because those people are going out and
Yeah.
close to other people, right?
Yeah, I think
It's a small
I
group.
think they're getting beaten with bamboo sticks afterwards. I saw some
This is-
videos of.
That's how they do it.
that's it. I think
More
that's
on,
it.
more on woman. My wife knows, and she runs